YouTube. Hopefully I'm live. I'm Keith. I'm from High Rise Digital, and today or this evening, I'm going to be doing some design tweaks on a website that we've built. So this website's for a good client of ours. New site was launched recently, and the reality of the site has kind of drifted a little bit from the original designs. And what I really want to do is to make the design a little bit more consistent again. So now that the client has started adding their own content and things like that, the design is just kind of fallen apart a little bit and it doesn't look ideal in places. So that's what I'm going to try to figure out today. Let me just show you the page. So this is the page, and you can see that, let me just move that for now. I mean, it looks pretty nice. It's not terrible by any means. It's a kind of nice design, but they're right in that they think there's just something like a little bit messy about it. And I think that's probably true. So I want to basically just improve that and try to make it a little bit less messy, and just improve the general style of it. So I've got two ideas for this. The first thing I notice is text alignment. And if I scroll down the page here, if I can make myself a little bit smaller. In fact, let me create. Can I do this and just show my screen without showing me? Phew. Okay, we're back. Okay, let me try. I just want to try a few things just to see if I can make this a bit more enjoyable for you guys to watch, because I don't want to cut off loads of the screen. I've got an idea, folks. I've got an idea. What if I did a little device view on here? Put that in a laptop size screen and fit to window. Is that sensible? I'm not sure. I'm trying to see what that looks like for you. Anyway, it's going to be better for what I'm trying to show you right now, which is basically the alignment. So if you imagine like drawing a grid on this page, I mean, nothing aligns with anything else. So the logo and this first item of the header or the navigation don't align. The title doesn't align with either of those things. This next title doesn't align with anything. So the first kind of bit of alignment that we have that's working is between, this section between employee ownership and we are a law firm. Then we go to central alignment. So that's something different. Then we jump back to left, which lines up with this, so that's sort of okay. Then we go back to center alignment, center alignment, center alignment, center alignment, center alignment. This section's kind of left aligned, but center aligned as a group, which is okay. And the footer is primarily center aligned. So for me, there's alignment issues. So the first thing I was going to do was to try out a center aligned version. Now, I'm not a massive center alignment fan generally. I think I heard it said once that center alignment is good for wedding invitations and not very much else. But there is a bit of a trend online for like center aligned titles and things like that, and it can look good, but it can also look messy. But I think we can do some work here. The other thing that you may have noticed as I scrolled down the page was there's a lot of different typographic treatments in terms of font sizes, colors, text transforms, bolds, like font weights and things. So there's kind of a lot going on, and I think that's potentially adding to the kind of messiness of it. Again, when the designs were delivered, this looked great. The designer did a really, really good job, and I love the designs. But sometimes, static designs, when they're turned into a real website, real content goes in, and things kind of just fall apart just a little bit. Okay, so let's get into this. So the first version of this I want to do is a center-aligned version, and I think we're probably going to see things improve straight away. So, for example, this employee ownership text just should be center aligned. So let's do that. So text align. I know you can't see what I'm typing. It's off screen just to save a bit of space. If I kill the device view again for a little minute, is that going to work? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So again, that's good. Now we have the issue of this next body of text not being the center lines. Now, I would probably really discourage a bit of text of this length to be center aligned. I just think that is getting into proper wedding invitation territory. But let's have a look at it. I just want to see what that would actually look like. It's okay, actually. And again, it's okay. It's often okay as a single paragraph. But when you get into like long body of text, you do not want it to be center aligned. It's hard to read for a start. So I'm going to leave it in there for now because this first paragraph actually has this very specific treatment of like the font size and everything too, which we might get rid of. But let's leave that. So instantly, that top bit was looking good. I would do the same thing with these. So this is actually an H3, so I can give all H3s text align center. And that's, again, instantly a bit better. Okay. So if we're going to go down a center alignment route, I think that's improved things. Just for consistency, that looks a lot better. I still worry about it generally. What I think I'd prefer to do almost is bring this in a little bit and left align it, but I'm going to leave this for now. The next thing I want to look at is the font sizes, because I know on this page there are an awful lot of different font sizes, and I would like to make that a little bit more consistent. So I've got a list of, I might even try to reduce that list in front of me. Just a nice kind of standard font hierarchy, the type that you'd find in a standard word processor. So like 16 point, 18, 21, 24, 30, 36, 48. Now, I think I'll probably use the majority of those. I'm going to get rid of 18 because it's really close to 16. And I think that sort of, again, adds to some of the messiness. And I might get rid of 24. So we just go 16, 21, 30, 36, 48, and that probably gives us enough range and enough, they're different enough so they don't kind of conflict with each other. So let's begin and see what some of the font sizes are here. And for this, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share. Should I go right? Again, it's kind of me that's getting away. I wonder if I can move. No, I can't seem to move myself out of the way. So just going to have to live with me in the corner for now. Okay. Okay. So right up here, let's start from the top and work our way down the page and see if we can set any kind of globalish rules. So where's that font size set? So font size, that is currently 16, which is good. That's one of our font sizes. That's what we want. And I'm going to guess and hope that these menu are also, no, that's 13 pixels, which wasn't going to be one of our font sizes. Now, If I raise this to 16, we're going to have issues. And this is especially true with type that has been transformed uppercase. You often want to slightly lower the font size. So in my font hierarchy, when I said my smallest was going to be 16, I might actually go 14 then 16 just to give me a smaller option for those all caps. And you'll see there's more all caps further on the line. You gotta be a bit flexible with this stuff. No point in having rules that are set in stone when they don't work for you. There's a lot of other stuff I don't like about this menu, but that's possibly something to get into at another time. It would take too long to really fix that now. So next font we come to is this hero font, and that is currently set to 42 pixels. That is not in our range, so we can choose between 48 and 36. I'm actually going to go for 36 here. And I'm going to go for a line height of, I'm just going to go 1.25 on the titles. Not that it matters because it's a single line. And then this title I want to be a bit bigger because this is kind of like the hero is kind of the tagline sort of the page, like the longer kind of descriptive title, and this one below is the kind of actual title, as it were. So that's 42, so that's not in our hierarchy, so I'm going to bump that up to the 48, which is, I'm just going to leave that to 48 for now. That's pretty big, isn't it? Let's go with it for now. Let's go with that for now. Okay. So I know that this first paragraph, you know, they didn't love this. I'm just going to, for now, I'm just going to remove the first paragraph rules. And you can see that instantly that just doesn't work, I don't think. And actually, the rest of the text further down is generally constrained a bit tighter in. So what I'm going to do, HD content, let me just have a look. I want to give that a bit of spacing too. I like space. I like white space. So there's a max width here that I'm just going to bring in and actually affect some of the blocks below as well. So the max width 50 rem. And I think that's slightly more kind of readable line lengths, which looks okay. So let's just check what font size that is now, because I've got a feeling that that's 16 pixels, so that's good. That's part of our hierarchy. This quote, I mean, it's okay, but I think my issue with this is the kind of shortness of it, and because it's short and it's kind of small, it doesn't quite work for me. So we've got a font size of 19 pixels, which we're not going to use anyway. So I did have 21 as an option. I mean, and that for me isn't enough of a contrast. I'd prefer to see something like that. And then let's have a look at this. I think that's going to be something like 14. Yeah, it's 14. Which is, oh, we've said that's kind of okay for the all caps, the uppercase. Okay, I like that a lot better. I mean, it really does, it pulls the eye to that. Possibly too much, possibly. Let's just play with that, actually. So we said 30. What did it look like at 21? I like it better at 30, I think. My only problem with that is it's competing for attention with this title a little bit too much. Let's leave it for now because I do prefer it like that. So these links, I mean, I've generally got some issues with this. I think I would do this in a different way. There's an empty paragraph up there for some reason. Probably just for kind of spacing. What would I do with these? I think what I would do with these, which is what we can't really do in this kind of scope of this video, is actually add a little bit of kind of explainer text under them, possibly with a more explicit link. Because what this looks like to me is a title with missing text in between the titles rather than a list of links. So I think we would need to do something, and this is another problem with the typography on this site, is that we've got these pink titles, we've got blue titles, and so how do we know what's a link and what isn't? These are links, but there's nothing obvious about that to make it look like a link. So I'd want that to have some kind of link treatment. So this is interesting here. Let's just check the font size of those, and we'll leave them other than that because it's almost like too much to get into, really. So we've got 19 pixels, so we could go 21. That's part of the hierarchy that we're allowing, which is fine. And then I'll just go 1.25 again. I would normally be much more detailed about how I handle line heights and font sizes to try to keep the kind of typographic rhythm as it goes down the page, but you don't want to sit and watch me doing that because it would take an awfully long time. Okay. So where are we next? I mean, this could even say FAQs above it, couldn't it? And that would make it, that's probably what I would do. It's probably what I would do if I could. I don't know if that's going to be easy for me. How do I just like add HTML in here? I'm learning as I record a video. No, I just want to kind of add something. I'm sure I could do it if I like edit this as HTML. Yeah, I could probably do it in here. Let's get rid of that for now. H2. I don't know if this is going to be styled correctly, but I mean, that's FAQ. Some people don't like FAQs as a concept, but we're going to try it. Set didn't work. I know why. Let's see if I can add a class to that. Class equals block. I think it's like block title. Could be HD block title. What is the HD block? I'm going to try HD block title. HD just stands for high-res digital. It's just a prefix that we use all the time. Oh, you didn't work. What's this then? Let's see what class this has. Is it not? I assumed that block titles would be styled, but it looks like they're only styled on their individual. Yep. Okay, that's fine. So we want the general H2 to fall in line with our hierarchy. So I'm definitely going to go 30 for those. And let's go back up to this. And then all I need to do is centerline that, really. In fact, I should do that right here. I'd probably like that to be pink, to be honest. And I'd like that specific one to have a bit more margin. But again, these are rules that I would want to build in a more robust way if I could. 16 pixels is our kind of default size, like font size. And probably let's grab the pink color for that, which I've got, just copy and paste it elsewhere. And I'm not saying that they should all be pink, so I'm just gonna. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I still don't love it. maybe it needs some kind of separator between it and the content, like a little underline or something. There's just something, a few dots or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think that's an improvement. So let's leave that for now. I wonder if I can. Let me just quickly go and search for something. Bear with me. Because what I want to do is see if anyone's actually watching. I don't think they are, but that's fine. You can always catch this afterwards. I just wanted to start sharing some of this process. Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time now, and I might not be a world expert, but you know, I've hopefully have something to pass on to people. I'm not expecting hundreds of thousands of viewers or anything like that, and I don't really care if I don't get them. But if you're here and want to chat, that'd be cool. I'm just going to mute and play. Okay, cool. I don't know if the chat comes through into my software. So I'm using Ecamm Live, and I think, yeah, comments should come through. So if you're watching, say hello. And I think I'll actually close that down over there. All right, let's keep going. This obviously doesn't look great. So what I think I'd like to do for this client is to give them an option whenever they add a quote as to whether to use like a kind of supersized quote or not. This I think looks too big. Well, first of all, the line height's awful. So I would just fix that straight away. Something like that is a lot, but what just happened? 2.5. No, I don't want 2.5. Well, it just really changes the feel, doesn't it? What I think I would do in this case is if there's a lot of text, maybe I don't know, that might work on some pages. For this, I think it's a bit much, so I'm just going to say font size. I'm just going to refer back to our notes about our font hierarchy. We could like try 21, for example. Where'd that go? Font size 21 pixels. I mean, that's a lot nicer, I think. Yeah, okay. This is probably going to be our 14 pixels. Let's just make sure that's the case. It is. Buttons. 14. I'm just going to knock those off a bit. I think they're just a bit more significant and should be given that significance. I just wonder, padding as well. Not a massive fan of the default padding. Just make those a bit chunkier. I like that. I like that. Okay, I think feels like we're getting somewhere. Do you know what? Just looking at that, okay, I really think the colors are a problem. I really do. I'm starting to think that we should be using mostly blue, especially for these titles. I mean, these are good. I would probably reverse that actually and make those pink. I'm gonna try that. I don't like how like multicolored it is. Mind you, if I'm about to make these pink, but then the title, I think that'll make it more consistent looking. I really do. That's interesting. Links are by default the blue. Let me just see how much this wrecks the page. I mean, I just feel like instantly those are more obviously links. But potentially, I mean, I wouldn't make them H3s for a start. Oh yeah, it's a challenge, this bit. I think this bit would need a lot more work. But just getting rid of the pink, like here again. Block videos title. I mean, can I make those the blue? Oh, got color. And that's a really big, obvious call to action, which is great. I'd possibly give this a background color as well. So oh, that's interesting. There's a warning in there. I'm just going to try this out. Good if I could spell. Why spell when you can let autocomplete take care of it? I think F2, F2, F2 is the kind of light gray. I think that works. Now I just need to edit the spacing slightly. This has not enough for me. So where's that coming from? Here. So margin bottom -2, so that the client has like deliberately edited the spacing here, but obviously with a slightly new design. That's interesting. That's going to change lots of things. See, this is starting to get a bit hacky, but I am doing this. It's worth saying. The client has just asked me to. Is that padding? The client has asked me just to show like a proof of concept of how the design could look. So that's what I'm doing here. Just want to get the spacing kind of looking a bit tidier. I think I need a bit more up here. Where is the gray applied? I think it's applied here. So where's the padding? Just going to put padding top to maybe this one. Makes it a bit more consistent with what's above. I always think there should be a bit more space between like the start of a group and everything in between it. So I think the fact that the spacing above and below this title is a bit of an issue. So I'm just going to do like a little quick hacky fix for that. So that just ties this section together slightly better. And same, do you know what? Exactly the same with the bottom. So I just wonder if I can give it like a padding. Okay. Let's have a little scan through. Yeah, I don't like the spacing there. There's too much at the top, not enough at the bottom. It's more balanced. And then this is obviously not quite right anymore. I think there was, oh, so I had to delete that for a start. Better, okay. Slightly more balanced now, I think. We've got this. I'm going to add a bit more on the bottom of this. I mean, really, I think you want... Oh, that's good. So we've got padding top and bottom, padding bottom. Let's give it an extra. In fact, let's not do that because that's going to apply it all over the place. And just wreck everything. So I'm just going to apply it specifically here. What do we think? Is that any better? I think it is. I think that is looking a little bit better. I really just don't like this next section at all. Or the footer, to be honest. First of all, I'm going to do what I've done with all the other blocks. I'm going to give it a bit more space. I think we're generally like, if only I could, yeah. Do you know what? If I did that, is it going to wreck everything? Because I think it's going to wreck some of the custom stuff I've done, but I really want... Yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to do that. That was too much of a leap to think that was going to work nicely. But I do want to increase it. Let's have a look at the font size. It's 19, which isn't one of our new font sizes. So let's go the closest one, which is 21. Let's go 1.5 on that. I don't know if it's the black on blue or what it is, but I just don't like it. Let's try it with a white background. Oh, yikes. Okay, that's not quite going to work. You know, one of the things I don't like actually is the border radius. Because although... Try to get rid of the border. And can I get rid of that? Just delete it. I mean, that obviously doesn't look amazing right now. Well, I'd want way more padding. That's using the same button padding as before, which I didn't really like. So we went 1 rem, 2 rem for the buttons, but I reckon just something like that. I'm going to make that white, I think. It's probably a weird font size. I mean, it is the 14. That's all right. That particular one, though, I want to probably do on a line left. I want to line up with the text, so yeah. I think this has a bit of a shadow going on, doesn't it? No, it's got a border. Don't like that. I think a really subtle box shadow might work, like a long subtle box shadow. So if I go 0, 5 pixels, 20 pixels, RGBA 0.2. Oh, I love shadows like that. I'm a shadow geek. You can layer multiple shadows. That looks super cool if you can pull that off. Just going to give this the same shadow so they kind of sit in the same kind of space. And I think if I gave that a little something extra, I don't know what exactly. I don't know what exactly, but I would give that a little bit more love, I think. But I think it's better than it was. Do you know what might look cool? This might be difficult to do in the browser, but I'm going to try. Where is the padding? So if I go padding left, how is this width being set? Okay, it's Flexbox. This might get confusing. What I was thinking was like doing a bit of an overlap. Bear with me. I might have to. Oh no, it's good. I'm going to give that a bit of. You can see what I'm trying to do here. Because this is Flexbox, sorry, I've gone a bit quiet while I'm concentrating. Maybe that's nicer. I much prefer that. Much prefer that to the way it was. All right. Now the footer, I don't want to get into too much because there was some, I guess, disagreements about the best direction for that, which is fine. That's always going to be the case with design. But let's see if we can just maybe tidy up the font size a little bit. So we've allowed ourselves a 14 pixel, so let's use that because 12 pixels is silly small in my point of view. And I'm just going to say, and I think that it looks kind of weird without a paragraph. So that looks like, oh, interesting. I mean, I think that's much better. The spacing there isn't consistent. I wonder if I can fix that. This should be a top, padding top. Yeah, that's it. Personally, I think that's better. I really do. Let's ditch the inspector just for a second. In fact, let's just throw it over to pop-out window. And give that another view at like a full screen. I still think this is a bit like, it's kind of overkill. I don't know. I think that looks a lot tidier. So I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to do that with opening up device view again. So I'm on a kind of decent sized laptop, so 1440 by 900. I'm going to click up here and I'm going to say capture full size screenshot, and it'll take a screenshot of the whole page. So I can have that for comparison later on. Okay. Wow, it took a little while. All right. So we've got that. That's our option one. Now that was easy. This next option might be a little bit trickier. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep what we've got because I like a lot of what we've done. So I'm not going to do a refresh and get rid of all of those inspector rules that we put in because there's some like good typography rules and stuff in there. What I'm going to do instead is let's bring the inspector back in because I think it's useful for you to be able to see that. I might put it on this side and then you can see, is it more useful for you to see the inspector or more useful for you to see the page? That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. If anybody is watching this, please tell me. Okay. Just seen your comment, the techie golfer. I know who you are. Try white text on a blue background. I missed that, so thank you for the comment. I assume that was on the quotes, but we'll see. Okay. Let's go with that for now. So this version, I wanted to try a left-aligned design. This is going to be slightly difficult because just of the way the kind of layout has been built, but I'm gonna give it a go. As I said earlier, I generally like left-aligned stuff, so it'll be interesting to see if that works. And that doesn't mean everything in a design has to be left-aligned, but primarily at the minute, what you're seeing is a center-aligned design, and I want primarily it to be left-aligned next time. So let me see. I'm just gonna. What if I click that? There you go. Sorry, I'm just playing with software now. So there is my comment on YouTube. Thanks, Techie Golfer. Anyone else want to comment? If anyone else is going to join us live, that would be cool. Okay, I'm going to leave this, the hero. Bear with me on that. I might change my mind later on, but that's what I'm going to do for now. So I need to start removing all these text align center, and we need to establish some kind of left-hand side. It might be tricky, but we're going to try. So you can see they don't share the same layout at all. And I think probably what we do want to do is use this kind of size, so like closer in. Let me see where that's getting. It's max width 50 rem. We might want to change that actually. Change that a little bit, and then padding of 2. So if I remember those, so I'm just going to make a text note: max width 50, width 50 rem, and padding 2 rem. Okay, got that for kind of reference now. So let's see if it works. So if I grab this, I mean, if I apply that, I don't know, max width 50 rem, it might not work because Maybe. No. That's interesting. It's using padding and not margin. Max width 50 rem. So why was that different? Width 100%, max width 50. So yeah, it should be 50. Just going to eyeball it for now. Apologies that not like that. Just going to eyeball it. Get it in the ballpark. That's actually annoying. This stuff's kind of important because this is the whole point of this, is that I'm trying to prove that kind of it can look better when it's kind of neat. Okay. This is a section that I might actually leave as it is, so I'm going to do that for now. And this I'm going to change. So I'm just going down the page here, getting rid of all these text lines. You can see that the line height wasn't set there. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So again, when it's longer, I'm just going to change this one individually. Ah, brain dead. That could even move across, because the whole point here is that we don't want everything to be center aligned. There we go. Got the same problem with this. Text line. So we actually want to give that some padding top's none, so I'm going to go 0 and then I can't remember what it was. That's going to look like it's going to be different. Is that close? Oh, it's very close. Spot on. And what you might want to do for the titles, I've seen this done before, is have them at a slightly different length. Often, like the max width might be slightly less. It can work really well. I'm not going to do that now, but you know, just this case and studies being on two separate lines isn't ideal, but it's kind of something that's sort of inevitable with responsive web design. So we're not going to beat ourselves up too much about that. Okay. So that's interesting. So I'm going to try to do this max width 50. That hasn't worked at all. Margin. So I know we want 4 rem auto and then 0. Yeah, and then I think we just need to add that padding in that we've had before. I'm gonna left line these as well. I really want to kind of labor the point a little bit with this version of the design. So it's significantly different. I think that's important. Happy with that. I'm actually happy with the footer being different, and there's too much work to do in the footer to really change. Okay, that's completely changed, probably because of what I did below. Yeah. Okay. Let me just do that here then. What do we think? Is that an improvement? I think it is. This whole top section still. I still don't love it. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this version though. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that version because it's a good one. And I just want to try something different next once that's done. So that screenshot's there. I really hope I'm actually improving these designs. Okay, so the version I want to try now is like fully left aligned. So all this content lines up with like the logo effectively. So I need to figure out the site header has a particular max width, I'm sure. So it's 72 rem. Okay. This could be a little bit tricky. Just go to computed. And then it's 32 padding. Okay. What did I say was the max width? 72 rem. Let me write that down. Because I do have a memory like a fish. Okay. So hero text. This is interesting because it's been like centered like this. Is there a max width set on it at all? I'm not sure. So what I actually want to do here is I want the max width of the whole hero text to be the 72 rem padding 02. So that bit's right. But then within it, I don't want it to be centered like this. Something else is going on here. What if I just say the width? Yeah, like that. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, and we want to basically do that same thing with practically everything else. So anywhere we have this 50, you know what, this is constrained here. And I wonder, weirdly, God knows why 81 worked. Well, it didn't quite work, but it's very, 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 very close. You know, almost want to remove this stuff. Where did I do that? A1 there. My 72 should work. Okay, perfect. Let's try this. Let's see where that's actually being set. And then actually within this, I want to kind of set a max width on that probably. And you might do this with a grid, but I don't have a grid to work with, so I'm going to eyeball it, see what I think looks kind of reasonable. Okay. Hopefully this is going to get easier as I move down, because I should hopefully just be able to grab this whole bit exactly like that. So when I control the max widths on these, because just don't look nice. I don't know. Let's try bringing this down again. What did I set before? Can anyone remember? Something like 50 M, wasn't it? No, was it 40? Yeah, I don't know if I like those being different actually. Yeah. It's one of those things, it's responsive design. Can't do much about it. And then, yeah, this can be hopefully moved back to where it was. So where's that? Where's that getting its text align is left, max width is that, but it is being centered by that. There we go. And I get the button lined up as well. Got some good tunes in my headphones. I was actually going to see if I could like share my tunes, but I couldn't work out how to do it. I'm okay with that being centered, but we could move it. We've literally done everything else, haven't we? Yeah, that's the thing. So I would definitely change the footer now that everything is left aligned. But again, I'm not touching the footer at the minute because it is just a real challenge. I kind of like that. I'm going to save that as another option. See if there's anything else I can do. Let's just throw this over to the side. I want to see what it looks like. And then I would just restrict the width of this. Again, you'd probably want to use like a grid system for this, but I'm eyeballing it again. In fact, a nice eyeball would be if it's kind of 2/3. Yeah, I think think I probably prefer that one centered just because of the way it was designed. But again, for the sake of this demo, let's leave it like that. Let's get a screenshot. The moment of truth is nearly upon us. Right, let's I'm gonna do a hard refresh on this page. Back to the original. And then I'm going to do something really scary and compare the three. God, please don't say that one's the best. All right. We're in the original. Capture full size screenshot. Let's do its thing. Okay, here we go, folks. Let me find, I think that should go into my downloads directory. What have I got? 4 screenshots. Let's load these all up. Drag them in to that screen in a second. This is going to be interesting, I think. Ugh. Okay. Can I cycle between them? So hopefully I can tell the difference between these. That's my version. That's one of my versions, I think. That's the original. Let's have a look. Let's have a peek at that. This was the bit for me that looked really messy. Yeah, this one kind of middle section. And then that testimonial bit. That's what I didn't love. Let's have a look at one of the new versions. That's the hard left. Let's go for not so hard left. Yeah, this one. So it's a centered hero title. And then left aligned kind of central content. Subtle, but I think that's better. And then that's the hard left one. I mean, I don't mind that. A lot of people hate this white space on the right. I don't mind it at all. There's certain times you might want to, fill that maybe like with an image or something. Could work really nicely. But like this section, I don't feel the need to fill this and make it go full width. I don't see the issue. We're used to left aligned stuff, in a left to right language. So for me, that works really nicely. Your eye just kind of follows the left hand side, and that's the kind of whole point in it. Is it kind of makes it a little bit more scannable. rather than your eye having to like constantly jump to the start of where each of the titles begin. Um, yeah, I potentially center this section again. Hard to explain why, but I would think I would. And yeah, I like it. What's the all-out centered version look like? If I can find it, there it is. I honestly can imagine that being the client's favorite. It works well for this template. My worry is that as soon as you have a page with multiple paragraph body copy, it just isn't going to work as well. And it'd probably be worth experimenting with that as well. So there you go. I think I'll probably leave it there. Let me just see if I can switch scenes. So thanks for tuning in. If you caught this live or if you have watched a replay, I love sharing what I do and sharing my experience and just doing this stuff live because it makes me think in a slightly different way as well, which I really enjoy. I don't care how many people watch, to be honest. But if you do want to watch more content like this, I'd be really grateful for you to join me in the future and get a little chat going in the comments. So if you're up for that, please click the subscribe button for more details. Follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll hopefully be posting more kind of behind the scenes design and WordPress development live sessions like this because it's really fun. Take it easy, everyone, and I will see you next time.